Can you hear me?
Yes, and I can. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? You just tease me. You are. You're being busted.
I cannot show that we're quiet in.
Okay. We'll get it. We'll.
Oh, no. I'm erring on the side of being generous.
Yeah. So
I don't know what. Are we communicating or?
Well, we're communicating. It's like this, I know Instagram Live. Who'd now, so we just got introduced by Cohen. What does, and I argued that Cohen mine is slightly superior to Bob Dylan. I know that that's a cruel thing. Any thoughts on Leonard Cohen just before we start?
A lot of oranges. The peeling of oranges. I think he introduced a lot of people who had not met gypsy orange dealers, flaxen head. We didn't know. I was like a lot of people, and
yeah, I was too.
If there's a way to write a final chapter to your life, written a final chapter like landed in a musical life or an literary, that his 60s and 70s were fecund and full of grace and charm and elegance. It's the most wonderful chapter, I hope to give advice.
I will preview. I really wanted this is, could you actually pick up your phone and see your bookshelf again? And if we can do a bit of a tour. I'd love to see your bookshelf. I'd like to slide something into your bookshelf, a very special novel. Romana Clef.
Slide it into my Bill Looms roman. Which, if I told your viewers of the last one that you made and you'll be liking this one, is that okay with you?
Absolutely.
I'll keep the drug of choice out of it, but
you don't have to do that. Whatever you like.
And his beautiful wife Holly and St. Killian's with the afternoon today involved some class A's, and Lisa and Holly ended up in my little apartment here, and we were so jacked up and joyous that we started to lift weights while listening to Rolling Stones and Aerosmith records and lifting it, and we were full of this. Then a couple of days later, Reese called me, and he was working on a TV program with a dear friend of ours, Natalie, and house husbands. And said, I actually, during a romantic scene, I couldn't lift my arms because we were stupidly jacked up, whatever, and drinking, and we had the, and you were supposed to breathe, and you actually couldn't lift your arms.
My arms were because I didn't do the boy thing going where neither of us were giving up, right? Like we were drinking straight whiskey and we were just doing weights, like just going like jam, 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 and like I think I should be over my arms. Like my arms was these giant, weird kind of just carrying watermelons, weird looking kind of freak.
Not great for romantic scenes.
Indeed, not great. Would you? I'm carrying watermelons for the.
When I tell the story. You tell.
Keep that story. Keep going. I was like, we're just going, because you and I go, when we go alpha, we go full alpha, and we're going like, you, Roger, and
Perko and I talk about this quite a bit. I have the appearance of some sort of competitive punch I don't enjoy, but I'm,
man, you got it.
I'm a
You
Catherine,
do.
I'm a Catherine Zeta Jones when it comes to alpha, because I like when games or bomb someone out cricket or strike someone in baseball. But
Yeah, because that's not competitive.
Oh, I see what you did. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to have a look around?
Yeah, please.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, this is I'm not here for about 3 years. That's my that's the favourites bookshelf. There's Dave Allen, Saul Bellow, and the Tism Guide to Little Aesthetics. There, Leonard Gardner, Vonnegut, Glenski, Barry Humphries, my patron saint.
God bless.
I do actually have a television.
Really? Is that you having a television?
No one. My mum bought me a television because she was a little concerned for me, thinking that because I needed something to look at.
Yeah.
There's lots of chess sets. I've been playing a lot of chess.
The thing with you ever played
which I'm not really heralded for his poetry, but I find it really wonderful.
Could we?
I'd be good on this one.
Sorry, Tim. Could you go back to your writer's desk? Just a minute. I'd love to sit and write. If okay.
Yes. This is my writer's desk here, which unfortunately has Rolling Stones around some super gluing together. I had a twist. So reading Edmund White's review of Janae, needs extra inspiration, and perennial photo of my daughter and of Mick Nolan of the North Melbourne Football Club. And some super glue, but we'll go into that. That's and writing a lot at the moment. So,
are you really? I'd love to talk about that. And what are some of the things that particularly in this, what have you found yourself writing about at the moment? What topics?
Well, initially, as we've spoken about, I was having a battle with my conditions and all that. And then my sister's husband died of the virus. And that, obviously, all our attention went to my sister. And that's why he was in England, was working in New Zealand. It was all that they couldn't get. It's a horror to die. So writing wasn't on my mind then, and then I started a couple of years about grief, and that was just all going to purple. So at the moment, I then started a bunch of folk songs and printing lyrics, full sets of lyrics, and being really happy with those, and wrote 30 miserable songs for people's enjoyment. And I writing a theatre piece, which our friend Russell Goldsmith is very involved. And then touring rock band I've been lucky enough to be in, and so I took all those lyrics for the folk songs and now turning them into your nice songs. And so we've
fantastic.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
we've started on a UMI record, and it's
really? That's awesome. That's so exciting. No, like I'm just saying, it's exciting. Like one of the great Australian rock bands, one of the great rock bands, and those guys, like they're good guys. You like that? They're your family. You know what I mean? Like it's functional family, but it's have you?
Very dysfunctional, but no, I do. I've got to renew. We've had time to alphabetize the fuck out of our libraries and our record collections, and also finding old photos and lyric books, and yeah, it was quite a time, and I'm very proud it's still the very best friend. So it's bigger because I was ready to leave the band last year. I thought it was my time was up. Their time was up.
Yeah.
I wasn't being a friend, and their strategy I was up at the bar, and this was my way out. And then now, as I think discussed when you came to the bar, like drunk people give you renewed vigour for playing in front of them.
Indeed, absolutely. That's right. It's being a servant, but in a way. It's being more, you know.
You can retreat and give yourself for an hour and then leave. It's kind of like reminds me of
Hang on, sorry. When you were an escort, I just had to pick up on that.
Our university fees.
Indeed. I mean, the ANU was a rough ride. I know Francis was a cool school.
What do you not rough ride?
Sorry.
Right, Dom.
RoughRide.com. They're welcome to become a sponsor. We need sponsors. We need some of that.
Chemistry. We discussed it while lifting weights, but we know we've got acquaintances from those. We never came across. I'll rephrase that. We never.
I know you're back. Is that what you? I didn't. That's right. It was slightly. Hang on. No, it wasn't you. But like no, but obviously I think I've heard. Sorry to take this to a slightly dark space for a second, but probably heard a bit last. Yeah, beautiful man who passed away. Who was like my best friend at high school, his little brother. So I grew up with Pete last year, and he knew, the Unibar days, and that ride, that crazy that ride. But Pete was like one of those sort of Ubers who was like handsome as the day is long. Ducks ANU law, became a rock star, set up, just for those uber human, and we've lost him. It's just a shit thing, 2020, like it could get worse,
We were at law school together. I knew him as the handsome, and everyone loved and righteously, and I had to sort of put out my jealousy because I look like a restless knee around that, and desperately wanting attention from other humans, and the lusties were the hot guys, and it was about a decade after that I got to know that he had really sensitive to him at that time. You're just as a adolescent, so misguided, and of course, as you said, being superhuman, I'm not sure the rest of the family, and just think, how did that happen? So with my sister's husband, I was with him last year. We had dinner together, and he anyway. I'm sure we've all have our grief.
Well, no, not very interesting. Even touch on the topic of grief, because you mentioned it earlier about writing about grief. When you write about grief, like for Masterpiece Heavy Heart, and that was a different life, but it is an absolute masterpiece, and I think pretty much anybody that follows music knows how beautiful that song is. But to write about grief, when you're writing about grief, you mentioned purple prose. When you write about grief, how do you find the beauty in the writing of it? And how do you find the beauty in grief itself?
That's a great question. I think that in grieving situations is a way to make sense of it. Now, I'm the kind of person who go to poetry or syntax or wordplay. It's the only way to make sense of it. I remember speaking with my daughter's mum years and years ago, and she questioned wakes. She was, she said, why go into a pub and tell stories about someone when they're dying in Spain, which is where my daughter's mum's from, Rocío. They go into grieving, and I don't know if it's a cultural thing, but we need to find some way out of there. Maybe it's a fear of going so down, you never going to come back up again. But I think that writing about grief is like what you're trying to find.
Is there in the writing process, have you ever found yourself going down an emotional wormhole writing that you felt you couldn't escape from, or that you had to leave song aside?
Fuck, that's a good question. No, in song, no. I think that maybe new posts I've done a little painting because in thought I can feel myself going down that way, and if you'll do anything to stop going down that way. Songwriting, no. I found during this time I was reading now Latham, I think a novel of his recently. I had stopped reading because it was about actors' insanity, and I just thought, hang on, I'm not. This isn't helping at all, and finding literature and poetry help at this time. But with my own writing, no, with that, whether it's writing fiction or otherwise. You know, what a privilege to be able to do. I learned to read and write as a kid.
Yeah, no, yeah. Me too. Like my dad used to buy me books by the yellow. Do you know what I mean? Like Bob by, and just whether I read one of them books, he knew he'd done a job. Do you know what I mean? Like it was just like the gift of reading and writing. I can't overstate it personally. You know, like it's just a.
Was your father a big reader?
I'm a reader. Still kicking on really strong. 80 plus, working every day, not quite with the way like we did, but he's on good. Yeah, Ian Muldoon, hello. He's a mean man. He's a machine. He's up at 5 working out, us doing, you know, playing poker, being alpha boy. It's like hilarious. Let me go back to one. It's a great quote. I may get this wrong, but it's how does it go? No. I'm sorry it isn't again. But back to sort of melancholy as opposed to depression. I thought the melancholy, profound, beautiful word. Like just it really saves your soul. Well, depression, a very good word. Is there something to be said that can you ever turn depression, melancholy, just by the act of writing a beautiful song?
Oh, bloody hell. Geez, I wish you had a give this guy a show. Look, we haven't talked a lot about it, you and I, but depression is a thing which I actually don't really deal with. Like, you know, I don't think I can talk in any authority about that, because I don't think I have I'm afflicted at this point. Melancholy, to agree with, is a beautiful word, and I used to first manage Kate Stewart about a lot. Kate and I used to talk melancholy versus depression, because having a melancholy disposition, etymologically, melancholy used to indicate vacant mind rather than that it was a perilous state. And depression, it can, in my little sense of it, can feel perilous. If you can, I remember the last time I had a depressive episode, was working there and on some cold turkey. I was also drinking whiskey at that time, and I tried to give up the beta blockers cold turkey and went into this brutal. And the only thing that got me through was the prospect of creation, and thinking that, well, there's no other way out of this. The creation. That was just my that's just my experience of it. So I'll leave it at that. You know, having the ability to create. I had some friends over for in a car before. I made a Spanish tortilla and got a shitload of beer and some whiskey, and we sat in the car park at appropriate distance. I was talking about a friend of mine was not doing so, and really when it was lucky as you sing, write songs or write prose, whatever, you know, not all of us have that, and I had to take a step back, get off my
yeah, I kind of tend to argue slightly against him, just like there's a duty to songwriter, a certain burden as well, and being a public figure and all that kind of stuff. I would possibly push back a little bit on that statement of his, but that's me. I'm out. No, but let's. You know, when somebody just says something and you go, like, no, hang on a sec, fuck that. But no, I'd like to now move with you. Firstly, let's check the social.
Oh, look, here's my.
No, wait. Just before that, so thank God, awesome. But just with that too, have you ever experienced greater joy than?
Contemporary example. I'm communicating with my daughter mostly through Instagram messaging, and it's my preferred way. But I looked through. I contacted her and said, "Sweetheart, would you mind?" She's 90, lives in and it's, you know, not a great time. And I contacted her and said, "Would you mind if I look through your account?" She went, "Yeah, sure, Dad. That's no problem." More joy. At least he's healthy. She's a good-looking kid. Wow. Thanks. That's beautiful. But I got so much joy out of that. That's a good example. But I was writing a "You're My Song" today, and I remember that feeling of when you start getting into a song and things start making, this chord goes out and this lyrics with that. No, nothing matches it.
I was reflecting on, it's you say that you're writing new songs. I was reflecting on, I was thinking about Dee Dee Ramone, of all people. I know, I love so much, right? And the lyrics, like, Sister Bangsel said, like, you think Dee Dee Ramone's lyrics that way, right? They're so simple, but they're so difficult. Because I was walking down the street doing, like, doing out of rhythm, bubble gum, the sun is out, and all that, whatever. Right? Like something about Dee Dee Ramone that simplicity,
Get into Dee Dee Ramone stuff. Dee Dee King thing. Yeah, music's been criticised and opinions. Opinions are like F-holes. Every Gibson guitar pre-1954 had one.
I'm going to play a flying thing at Chris Spedding, but we all have our opinions, like.
Are you kidding? Chris Spedding.
That's what I'm saying. Chris is the only person that has got away with the flying V guitar in history, as far as I'm concerned.
Dave Kinks,
sorry,
and to put his in between the V's, and that's
sexy
not
time. Well, I just had a meeting Ray Davies, who, like, I met him in. You've met him as well. How amazing is he? Like, so humble and deep. He looked like a bit John. I felt like he liked the white runners on and the skinny black jeans and the jacket. You know what I mean? He's kind of that. But he was. I mean, that and of writing and the working class and what's important. Like, what a fucking lord. Like, and not ashamed of baseball. God bless him.
My experience with him was so beautiful. Black and white runners, not quite the mod king I imagined.
No, he was not.
We walked in the room and saw me. I was with Tony Mott, the wonderful photographer.
Tony Mott. Yeah.
I want to be me. And then when Ray's manager walked in, he looked at me and went, "Oh God, it's a want to be Ray." I was made out little pudding old hair, wearing a little, Carnaby Street suit. Oh God,
Oh, yeah. I think mine was like 1995 but it was around the same time. So he was still wearing the brains and the rose.
Hey, it
was a Seinfeld look. What the fuck? Like, it was on telly. They went, what? I might dress like Jerry. Fuck it. Like, the guy for fashion is skinny black jeans and white shoes. Yeah.
Rusty will tell a story. We were touring the States, and Rusty had been touring with Radio Birdman before he hooked up with us in the States.
What a band.
He got pneumonia. Rusty was so sick, but he never missed a show. That never break a thing on shows off. But Rusty pneumonia. But he gets watching Clash compilation VHS tape in these split vans, where you can sit in the back and watch it. And so just all Clash footage, 3 hours. And Rusty woke up in a fever and looked up and he said, "What's Jerry's Feld playing John 83 Clash?" And Mick was wearing kind of clothes then. It wasn't Classic Rockers. It was John looking like Jerry Feld. Hey, but the guy who wore a shirt, right?
We got a pirate shirt. We'll wear it. But no, but no, I know, brother. I know the pirate shirt. What's that about? Mick Jones. Sorry if I'm sounding shouty. I keep doing that. Viv Albertine's.
We've known each other for a long while.
No, but I don't know if you've read Viv Albertine's fantastic autobiography. Girls. I mean, sorry, boys, guitar, guitar, whatever it is. And when she talks about going out with Mick Jones, like it's just such a what a crack book that is. Like it's always like the day. It's just like how hot is that dirty name for a girl band? You know, like the Slits. Like, please, you know what I mean? Like, just what I thought.
Please let me worship at your temple, though. And they were
indeed.
They were so young and so fierce.
I know.
And Viv, I wish Viv, and I love two books, but she's a little dismissive of music these days, Viv, and I wish she had them do, but she and they're great and fucking incredible.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Hurry up! She was 16.
I know, but that was that thing, that great time when punk rock was not uniform. It was really about going and do anything. You know, time before it became kind of mohawks and leather jackets. You know, like that kind of thing. When literally it was just the best time.
Did you like the recent hip-hop John Varvatos documentary on SBS recently? It's a lot of really good punk documentary, but this
with that voice? No, I don't think I've seen it. Well, just weird.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the was great. Then when I got I lost a bit of enthusiasm. But anyway, it's just the one. Not the, I mean, there's Lexi, but listen to Henry Rollins' last couple of radio shows, the documentary he does on KCR, the LA station. I love him, and we've never been in the same room together, and I freaking love it.
I met Henry, and when I met him in person, he was one of the campus humans I've ever met, which was really slightly like it's very persona. It was very persona.
You are very handsome.
we were in a beat, you know, what a tree. we got to movie. Now, Tim, what song are we playing? We've got to get to the song because we've got our next guest coming up. Please tell us what the song's about. And lead in and let's work.
Yeah, well, I wrote this song just when this storm started, and it's called and I got this my friend to have me on. This song's 2 minutes 20 seconds, and it's a future classic.
Thanks, brother.
What the hell did you used to worry about? What the hell used to worry about? The cost and loss of living, pestilence ring up. What the hell did you used to worry about? What circumstances used to make us cry? Punch the walls, make angry calls at 3 a.m. Find you lost in your whole right side. Circumstances used to make us cry. My Saint 2020, past seems pretty rosy. The present's fucked up. Look us up in the middle, calculating scores. Who took what from who and where? No history's on call. Oh, hell, do you worry about me? Middle-aged, spread hair on
was I so petty? Why didn't I learn to sing? Why the hell do you worry about a thing? My looks can go the hell, I never should have moisturized. My weight is just as heavy as the luggage neath my eyes. Here we sit in the meadows, fighting little lambs. Someone's up there laughing, all our best lambs. Oh, why the hell do you worry about a thing? The cost and the losses of living, and how we figure out how to live the best life better than next door. What the hell do you worry about? Why the hell did you scream and shout? I thought we would figure it all out now. It's racing, man. Thanks, brother.
Let's get on the weights real soon, all right?
Let's do that. Rob, man.
Love you.
Love you too, man. Funny is. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Tim Rogers, and we're about to be joined. Our next guest, Peter Van Oz. He's been on the project. He was literally on night. He's been waiting very patiently, which is fantastic. Just got to find him. There he is. We're about to be joined. Hopefully, he now knows he's clean Rogers. Just doing it a little moment. Hey, did you get to see a little bit of Timmy?
I did. I saw the whole thing.
Oh, cool. So you now know who he is?
I do. And I did know who he was once I Googled his music and heard it. But it's like, I call him this sort of stuff all the time. So I'm not.
Oh, I just went. Because when I said, Pete, you're Tim Rogers. Exactly. Yeah. Hey, just before we go on, can you quickly show some of your books and your bookshelf, please?
Oh, okay.
Just like
like specific books.
Just give us a scan of. Like,
So I'm in my study.
Yep.
So this is. I absolutely haven't read it. But this is a book of Australian politics, politics, national politics up here. Then on this side, self-help, which I should read, but I haven't. I haven't.
Oh, good. Thank
you. And economic books and books here. Yeah. So it's all the broader study, I guess. Yeah.
Who would you argue? I would George Megalogenis is one of the great thinkers as far as economics goes in Australia.
Yep.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah. He essentially he's more economically focused than Paul Kelly was, but he traditionally wrote about orchid during industry, which I think that was the seminal kind of book on Australian politics that got me into it when I was really and Jenna Mantle more focused on a lot of the things we're not doing that we probably should be doing as well. Missed moments as well as but it means I think I've got all of them.
I'm sure you do. Now, to go back, I'd love to know how you first got your ambition. No, got your ambition and got involved, got interested in politics, and actually decided to make.
My first memory about my interest in politics came when I went to SOTS and I was in Gary. I don't know if you feel like
I'm a public story. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, no, it's like Timber Top down in Melbourne, I think. So I was thinking, it's the 1990.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Pete. But your story, I know, is slower in this. You live in Vaucluse house with your mum?
Not Walkley's house, Strickland House. Yeah, so
Could you tell that story, please?
I will do. So Strickland House is right near Walkley's house. It's right on the Waterloo, and it's 4 acres of land, and it's public in the time. Money for dementia patients and matron of Strickland House, and so I grew up on this 14 acres of water with Walkley's, which God knows what it'd be worth, but it's still public land now. And yeah, so I grew up there, and you know, man, it was able to kind of roam around almost like it was the equivalent of a farm, but just with a beach with a perfect Sydney harbour in front of it. But Mum always told me that we don't obviously own the land, but we're privileged enough between the ages of 3 and 15, actually. And then the family little city in Coogee, which we moved back to just at the right time. I was staying at the Coogee Bay Hotel.
But what was it that to do? But what was it that had to do with your mum and Strickland House? To do with your politics? When you first know politics, didn't you get kicked out of that house?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're borrowing really. The Grimes house. And I look back at it now. Never should have closed. Like, if anyone ever travels to Nelson Park, which is right next to in close, Strickland House is 40 next, frankly, because you know, yeah, it was a public nursing home. The patients that weren't paying either, you know, they were just lucky enough. And the government closed it because it wanted to basically sell the land and carve it all up. Now they closed the nursing home, but nothing happened in terms of you know, selling off the land, thank God. But I remember for me, as I got older, I was too young at the time. I remember always thinking as I got older that it was a shame that happened when I was 15 and not 35, or, you know, the age I am now, because it shouldn't have been shut. It stayed public land with public purpose, and always, you know, sort of, I developed my interest in politics watching the attempts to try to save it. You know, there was strong interest in the person and all the rest of it, but my parents weren't political, and they had no strong interest in politics in conversations.
Of course, but you know the power of politics there.
Yeah. Well, and I think, you know, in hindsight, it wouldn't have taken that much ability and lobbying and knowing how to be able to put enough pressure on that they wouldn't have been able to shut Strickland House. And it never should have been shut. Here we are now. So I'm 44. It's shut, you know, before I mean, it's just there. At least it's still in public hands, because there's been enough outcry to make sure that they can't sell the land. But that's about, you know, on that. Yeah, it just sits there, and all the building in the movie Australia. I don't know if you remember that, but the
movie, but I love the house.
Movie. But the building itself was one of the things that was depicted there.
No, I filmed there myself. Yeah, I filmed there in a show that was far, you know, like to Australia. It's a lovely setting. It's a terrible fucking film. Like, it's graceful and like what a waste of government funds. Whatever. But back onto this. So you, how did you get from Sydney to Perth? Firstly, because you're at yeah.
I moved to my PhD, so it was the start of my career, if you like. So literally applied around the country. University of Western Australia had an academic report, so I changed to Perth, and then 6 months later he retired. He didn't let me in on that, which was.
I did the same thing when I was going to uni too, because I was studying history, and I was rough forward. But that's right. Academic anyway.
Okay, so I moved over there, no problem. He was my purpose for being there. I also, silly at that age, in hindsight, I probably should have studied at an overseas university and got the life experience. But I did meet my wife when I moved to Perth, so I can't complain.
Actually, who's on what's coming up shortly? I just know that it's anyway. Sorry. Sorry,
She's
she's not watching. I know she's not watching. She's busy. But Pete, just talk about some. Firstly, I'd love to get you on again because we're not going to go the full deep chat yet. But the $60 million stake of the government.
small. It's one of those rounding errors that you can make. You know? It's what happens.
How is the loss? Question. They're saying that it's like that businesses will put down 1,500. I'm buying that second.
Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist about this.
There's no conspiracy, man. Like it's a startup.
Okay, then we're no. Look, it's the biggest accounting error in the history of the Commonwealth. In the same year that we're going to deliver the biggest deficit in the history of the Commonwealth. Now, look, I'm actually forgiving about the error. Let me finish though. I'm a little bit forgiving about the error in the sense that Treasury after us, the Treasurer is responsible. Yada yada. Where I'm not so forgiving, they're giving all the indications that they're not going to use opportunity, which is what I would call it, to be able to further divvy up money. I mean, the Treasurer, the Assistant Treasurer was I won't use more, unis to art, you name it. And he said, look, we don't have unlimited, I'm paraphrasing, we don't have unlimited funds.
You have to draw a line.
A million people take this up. We have to draw a line somewhere. This is his words. If it was only 3 million, they could accomplish this. But 6 million have taken it up. It is what it is, Now it turns out it's actually 3 million. And the government is refusing to divvy money up. They're literally now saying that, no, we use this as a budget save or whatever. It's only a matter of weeks ago that Josh Fry said ideology doesn't come into it.
Didn't say that added something like that on Inside.
So, plenty of room left there. There's more than 40 billion left. Who comes next? There are some groups that missed out. And government early that people miss out as long as they're prepared to correct them. And I've been forgiving if they've been correct. Suddenly, they've got $60 billion. And I know it's borrowed money, but that's not the point. We've got low interest rates and it's about saving jobs. The Prime Minister today, Reece, he today was saying, hey, people have job seeker, but they have a job, we don't need to get it. The Treasurer 2 weeks ago was saying the problem with job seeker and the reason job keeper is so important is because you have to go on the unemployment benefits to get job seeker. And when you go on unemployment benefits and lose your job, it's a lot harder to ever get a job back. And it takes years to get off that list. So they're completely contradicting themselves. And I just think it's a form of pettiness that they're not willing to make changes. They will make some in June when they review it, but not nearly enough. So arts and entertainment are going to miss out. Unis are going to miss out. People who work in foreign businesses in Australia, but they're foreign-owned businesses, they're going to miss out as well. The tourism industry might do okay. I could imagine them finding room for them. But, the ideology has come back into it now. They're not willing to use that money to try to save more jobs.
Do you think, because there was such goodwill only a week or two ago for the government, has goodwill gone? What cost them electorally?
Look, I think it should, but my fear, if you like, in terms of issue, is that it because do well, at least at the next election, at scaring enough people about the idea of voting Labor in terms of the economy. Like, I feel like there's an 22 on this one.
But I know what you mean. But will that I would argue myth of the coalition being better economic managers? Is that still?
I think
that's around time.
I think it's supposed to be one more election because next election, however badly the scheme stuffs up, I think they've got the capacity to say, okay, we can fix it. Don't trust Labor. And like it or not, the opinion polls suggest that that's what people do. They trust Labor on the economy. I think 3 more years of stuff in it up, and then that argument doesn't hold anymore. They have to fix things, and they can start their own performance. But Labor would be, look, if things go well, the government gets credit for it. If things go badly, the government says, don't Labor, be your best. And I find it a vacuous argument because I think it's a lot more complicated than that. But I think it works for more Australians than it would as a simple argument. And that's a concern, I think, if you're a Labor strategist, because you think, wow, how do we get past that? Now, having that, I'm in a box seat to win the next election, and that would scare them more than anything Anthony Albanese can do, because I was very clear about this. I think that Kevin would beat John Howard, that you and Kevin are close friends, but I did not think that he would beat John Howard. I thought once Kevin Rudd became Prime Minister, he'd be a long-term Prime Minister. There's no chance that they'd knock him off. Really, I did. I was absolutely certain she would destroy Tony Abbott, because there was no way Tony Abbott was going to be able to come in.
But you mentioned and stuff.
Well, I haven't finished. When Tony Abbott became Prime Minister, I thought, well, okay, I was wrong that he that he got there, but there's no way that the Liberals will do to him what Labor did to Kevin Rudd. They're never going to do that. And they put Malcolm Turnbull in. I said, well, Malcolm Turnbull, Bill Shorten will be able to unravel him. He's going to poleaxe him at the next election. And I was convinced that there was no chance that they'd go to a Conservative, certainly not done, never close. And Scott Morrison took over. One thing I knew, and that was that there was no way Scott Morrison would be able to win the election at the last election. So that firm record that I see, there is no doubt that Scott Morrison's got the next election in the bag, and he would feel very confident with me putting my predictive skills behind him on that one.
$1 million. Just more, slightly more meta level. What do you think? What are the big lessons that we've learned from this show? That the word apocalypse literally means to reveal. The etymology of apocalypse literally means to reveal. So if you can call this an apocalypse, it is kind of slightly one, but things have been revealed. I would argue some of the things that are revealed are Medicare is safer, education is safe, unions are now kind of back. Or any others that you would argue?
I think the big change that's happening is a new awareness about absenteeism in work not being what matters. You know, so I think.
Sorry, say that again. What was that?
You're talking about the coronavirus, right? You're talking about the impact that it has on society. Well, I think absenteeism at work will fade. There's been a sort of drift away from it, but the ability to be more flexible in your work is something that I think will last beyond this. So, people that are doing it toughest when they're shut down by the system. But I do think that the ability to work from home, to have more productivity working from home because of losing the commuting, that's a really big legacy.
I'm guessing I'm asking even more than that, slightly higher than that.
Yeah.
What kind of depression are we facing? For the nation.
Well, I think it's going to be a long time before we realise the prosperity of the previous 10 years or longer over the next 10 years. I do think that economic views are going to be in for a long time. And I do think that there was The Economist a couple of weeks ago had a great front page. We talked about the 90% economy, and it had like a pretend perforated front page being worn off. I think it's a world that we face on travel. Hyper-nationalism is probably the biggest worry in the context of right now.
Do you think that's going to actually? Do you think that's going to happen?
Yeah, I do. I think countries are. Countries we're all together, but when you think about that, don't apply at the national level. it doesn't really apply at the international level because countries are...
But are you arguing that hyper-nationalism is going to happen because of whites are like right? Like that one of the reasons, or is it philosophical?
It's
like,
both.
Where does it start?
It's both. So trade protectionism because of the need to develop domestic industries more, or that cognizance about the domestic industries. But I also think reduced levels of immigration countries are going to face is going to be a real issue for us. We're going to have a lot fewer international students at uni. I think all of those factors culturally impact on the country as well. I would be very surprised if this lasts for a number of years. Even if virus is found, the cultural impact of it then becomes the political debate after that. And I can really see a situation because nationalism is
Indeed. Now, one last question, Pete. Also, if you could announce your song, because we've only got about a minute to go. If you could announce your song that we're out by Imagine Dragons, apparently. But anyway, but last cheeky,
Thunder. I love Thunder as a song, and I love the words.
Great. Last cheeky question: is the Murdoch Empire in decline?
I actually, not everyone like this, but I think not. I think it's got a level of breadth that a lot of other media organisations don't. So if anything, and it's also cash reserves. So if anything, it's in a position, whether people like it or not, to acquire assets rather than to decline.
But is this the end opinion versus fact?
In some areas, hopefully, but in a lot of the problem with opinions, you guys were talking about this before. The problem with opinion is and a lot of people have platforms for the of science or intellect or knowledge and research behind it. And opinions